I know StreamYard is. That's why I bought it for the year.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Wow. All right, guys. So today is Topic Tuesday. I have my homie in here, LJ. You want to introduce yourself? Let them know about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is LJ Young, saveus-debt.com. You Google savings minus hashtag savings minus debt. I am a 50-year-old, 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives and believes in financing everything that goes down in value. So I help people get out of that by using mathematics. That's it.
For sure. And, one of the subscribers actually it was Prince. He recommended me to you, and, we spoke. I told you a little about my debt, and my eyes are open now. And I've been trying to kind of preach to my own audience because the majority of them are 25, working hard, in debt. And now look at us. We're in somewhat of a financial crisis. We're all kind of quarantined at our house. So I wanted to talk about like leveling up in a sense. And the most important thing is just to open everyone's eyes to the debt matrix, what it is. Because even for me, I just feel like it's not normal to be in all this debt. How do I get out? Where do I start?
That's a good question. All right. So what I did was, first of all, I learned from Dave Ramsey. When I'm 50, I didn't know I was in debt. Something sparked me up. Long story short, went to Dave Ramsey, learned from him. I found out it was that simple. I said, oh, okay. But I thought to myself, I could simplify it even more by using grade school math. So this is the first thing I say, Mike, when I ask a person, hey, you want to be a millionaire? Everybody says, yes. Yeah, of course I do. Yeah. Right. And then I say, I can teach you how to do it. They go, how? I say, first, you got to learn how to count to 1 million. And then people kind of look puzzled. They're like, what do you mean count to 1 million? I can count to 1 million, right? And then they go 1, 2, 3, right? And I say, stop right there. What about 0? Why did you forget 0? Well, that's a number. I know it's nobody really. So I go like this. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals the number you start to account to 1 million to. That's where you start, right? And it kind of makes people think, because savings minus debt is your money in real life. Now you got to believe it. That's the hard part. So I have to get people first to understand that they are in debt. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't even know.
For sure. And I think that, guys, like really think about that. Savings minus debt. That was the turning point for me. When I was recommended to LJ, I do my research. Like I went on his channel. I'm watching all his videos, which I'll link his YouTube so you guys can check it out. But I was just going through everything, and he just savings minus debt. And I'm like, all right, let me look at my savings. Let me look at my debt. Wow. I am broke. And that's where you guys see the turning point, even just from my channel and my life. Like you really need to analyze that. And it's a scary thing when you really do add up your savings minus that. They say the average American doesn't even have $400 in their savings account.
And it's true. And it's true, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about just this moment now. That kind of stuff really prepared you for this moment.
Correct.
Because now people are getting laid off. People don't have $400 in their savings account. How are you going to pay rent? How are you going to pay for your food? You can't even leave your house. What are we doing here?
You know what? This is what people, now I'm a conscious person to help people. I can make you economy proof, but this time right now, and it's very difficult because everybody's fearful and stuff right now, but right now is the time to focus in on yourself first. You got to be thinking like, man, I'm tired of living like this. This is going to make a lot of people think, do I really want to work at that job? Because the job is not a factor anymore right now, right? How long they've been working there? Do I like my boss? Do I like me? Who am I if I don't have that job title anymore? Like if somebody's been at a job for like 10, 15 years and they've been a network engineer, now that the job is taken away, now they're just Fred. Not Fred, the network engineer, it's Fred. So people need to focus in on themselves.
For sure.
Get out of this.
And guys, that's the most important thing. This is a scary time, but that's also a blessing. This gives you an opportunity, again, to focus on yourself, protect your house, right? Now is the opportunity to create a business. Now is the opportunity to sit back, create that business plan. Oh, you hate your job? hey, you ain't got to worry about it for a month or two. There's a lot you can get done, right?
Right.
So that is just literally number one in leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
So, you mentioned to me the debt-free card. A lot of people are in debt. I mean, we saw the video where I talked about me selling all my sneakers, and people are, hey, I got student loans, I got this, that. This is the time, debt-free. What are the steps, in your opinion?
Like I said before, first look at that number, find out how much debt you're in. That is a very important part, right?
Yeah.
And then once you see it, you got to believe it. Now, I am going to say a couple of high-level things that this right now, during this time, is a get out of debt free card for you right now. Right now. Now, I'm going to use this example so you guys can understand what I'm saying. So, for example, if you have an FHA mortgage, I want you to understand that FHA mortgages are only for people that cannot afford, that refuse to accept that they cannot afford a house, because if they could afford a house, they would have got the best mortgage. They wouldn't have got the second best. Okay. That's right off the bat. All right. Off the bat. Right now, interest rates are low. The best thing you could do right now is refinance your house and pay off your student loans. That's the best thing you can do. A lot of people not going to do that. Don't worry about it. And I'll tell you why. Because once you pay off your student loans, now after you lose your job, what if everything just gets totally worse and you lose everything, including the house? Guess what else you get to lose too? The student loans. You could start at zero. A fresh start at zero right here. Boom. Just like that. Chapter 7. Done.
So as far as I know a lot of my audience is younger and they're going to school. So let's say, we're telling you everything about this debt, student loans. Let's say you're going to school. It's going to cost you $200,000. What do? You're 15, 16, 17.
This is my rule. However, say like because a lot of people don't have money for college, right? They're going to end up getting student loans, right? All right. This is my rule. Okay. However long you go to college, you take just as long to pay the student loans back. So if you went to college for 4 years, take 4 years to pay it back. If you go to college for 5 years, take 5 years to pay it back. Anytime over 5 years, you automatically know that you're about to pay more for something than what it's worth. And you're going to be just like all the millions of people that keep student loans for 20 years. Never, ever, for you young people, this is very important. Never, ever take financial advice with student loans that are older than you. Okay. If their student loans are older than you, don't take financial advice. That makes no mathematical sense. Why would they go to college for 4 years and keep their student loans for 20? That doesn't make any sense. Don't ever do that.
For sure. So in your opinion, would you say, typically if you want to be like I'm not taking any shots at like psychologist or anything. Let's say they're not going to make that much within 4 years. Would you say that kind of determines what you want to go into as far as like a business degree, or you want to be a computer engineer, higher paid jobs?
Well, like this, if they do keep track of mathematics and money, right? If they say, I'm going to look and see how much this degree is going to cost, right? And if they find out before they sign up, if they find out that it's $200,000 and they don't think they're going to ever make $200,000, I would suggest not going into that career.
For sure.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they just do the research work, that's going to cost me $200,000. How much do I make a year doing that? $50,000? No, I'm not going to go into that career. I wouldn't do it. That's how easy it is.
And this is the time, guys, to really sit and do that research. Bro, Google University. That's what we have. You need to take advantage of understanding what it is that you want to do. There's answers to everything. I mean, look at LJ. You got a whole channel of answers that I needed for myself and answers for a lot of you guys. Most importantly, let's break down what are the things that people can do to level up right now. Obviously, it is a debt-free, like you said, right now is your debt-free card. Since this crisis is happening, should people still be paying off debt, or what are the steps that you think they should take now?
This is what I suggest they do. All right. First of all, you're gonna need money. Okay. Yeah. So this is the first thing you should do. If you have a car payment, I want you to look up Kelley Blue Book and see how much your car is worth today. That's what I want you to do. Go look up and see how much your car is worth. And then I want you to log onto your account and see how much you owe on that car. Okay. Now, and then when you see the difference, you tell me, should you stop paying on that car right now, or are you going to keep paying on it? Don't worry about your credit. I just want you. So, for example, if you look your car up and your car is worth $5,000, right? But you go look on your balance and you still owe $11,000, I would stop paying on that car. Right now is your get out of debt free right now. Don't worry about anybody picking your car up in 3 months or nothing. Nobody's working. There's somebody got to be there to put the paperwork through. Nobody's there. So your car won't be picked up for a long time, and millions of people will be doing it. Don't keep paying for something that you already know is not worth it. Right now is the time. Stop doing it right now. Let it go. Hey, I'm not paying on it no more. Sorry. This is business. It's business too. It's
sure.
Business.
Will that affect your credit?
So what?
Yeah.
Just like right now, in this time, right now, in this moment where we're at right now, are you worried about your credit right now? Even during this time right now?
No,
there's a deadly virus out there killing people, and people still worry about their credit. Don't worry about credit. Don't worry about credit.
Okay. What about how do you level up in the sense of income in this time? Is that where you sit back and create a business and
what we just said right now. What we just said. I mean, you expressed it too right now, but this is the thing though, Mike. They got to realize all distractions have been removed. They have nothing to go to. They can't go to the movies, can't go out to dinner, can't see their side boyfriend or girlfriend. They can't do nothing. They got to be right here. If we can get people to focus in on themselves so they can look and say, you know what, now's the time I can create something. Like, for example, let me give you an example that I just found out. That DJ D Nice on Instagram, D Nice. Yeah. This dude just started. He started spinning up a live whatever DJ thing, and he went from, I don't know how many he started with. Now he's over 3 million, right? Yeah. Oprah Winfrey jumping in there, or Obama's wife's in there. Oh, I like this jam. He's playing all the old school jams. He's a sensation overnight from in his house.
Yeah.
He made something grow out of quarantine.
People are getting really creative right now.
Man, creative. Right now is that creative time. It's right now.
And guys, I see like over in the chat, some of you, the thing about this is everyone's situation is different. All these different steps apply to everyone, but the main steps right now, number one, are protect yourself. You need cash, right? That is the most important thing.
Number one.
And then, I mean, as far as credit, in a sense, should you still protect your credit? Again, it depends on the situation of the person. We don't want you going out, just taking out loans left and right. Because then
when I hear this is the first thing, when I hear somebody say, what about your credit? The first thing I want to ask them, let me see your credit report. Okay, that's the first question.
Yeah.
If I go in there and that person's deep in debt and they have 20-year student loans, I'll say right away, that's why you're worried about your credit, because you're in debt. Like when you're out of debt, I mean, my credit is like 7 something. I don't care. Okay, it's 7. They send me notices that it goes up and down, up and down. I really don't care. I just say, how do I stop those notices? Because I don't care. So anybody that says, hey, what about my credit? I want to ask to see their entire credit report, not their credit score, their entire credit report.
Yeah. So I want to have someone jump in here and just kind of ask us a few questions. I think the majority of people understand. Number one, protect yourself. Cash is king right now.
Yes.
Protect your credit. Make sure you're aware of who is giving you this advice in the first place.
I'd stop paying off debt. That stops.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can even, I've tried this week, you can call your credit card company or your banks and they will waive the interest for the next few months. That's what they're doing right now. The phones, it's pretty hard to get a hold of them. I sat on the phone for like an hour and a half, but again, that saves you like $100 in interest.
Yes, for sure.
For an hour of my time, $100 in interest, I'll take it,
For sure.
And, the next thing would be, if you are prepared for something like this, you buy assets.
Right now, you wait another month, you're going to get 3 houses for the price of 1 if you had the money.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I personally, and I know a lot of you guys out there, like, just imagine if you had a lot of cash flow right now, you're winning. Now is the time to buy stocks. Now is the time to buy assets.
People don't even know, like on the other side, for people over here that got money, this is Christmas.
Oh yeah.
This is Christmas time. Give it another month. It's going to be like double Christmas.
For sure. All right, so what we're going to do is get Anthony Fernandez in here.
Okay, cool.
And have him ask us some questions. You guys, feel free to ask us questions. I have a few on Instagram which are regarding stocks. LJ, do you invest in stocks at all?
Mm-mm.
For me, guys, it's more of I actually pulled all my stocks out 2 months ago, which is just really interesting. So, Anthony, make sure you click that link and join. But I pulled out all my stocks and then this happened, which is just crazy. It's very ironic. But right now is like, again, Christmas for people that have cash flow. You have McDonald's stock, you have Uber, Lyft, Coca-Cola. Everything is half price right now. So if you have the money, that's the time to buy.
And like this, let me give you this real quick. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have to buy stocks.
Exactly.
Okay? Never forget that.
That's the number one rule right there.
That's the number one rule.
Do not fall into this, oh, I have student loans, but I'm still investing.
Yeah.
Because what you're making versus the interest that you're paying, it doesn't even compare.
Not even close.
But again, once you pay off all that debt, then you can count to 1 million. Hey, you got all the money in the world. You got all the time in the world. Right now is a perfect moment of time isn't even a real thing. LJ, what is today? Do you know?
Tuesday.
He had to look. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we should be.
Right now, they get to share that. They get to share that.
Exactly. Oh, Anthony, what's good?
Good, my man.
What's up, Anthony?
I didn't know it was you, bro. So,
hey, man. So I'm going to give it from a business owner's perspective, from someone who came from nothing and has built a business on sweat equity, right? A lot of sweat equity that I put into this business. And while I agree with a lot of points, I think one of the things that we've always need to look at as young individuals in general is to look past this time period. Because if we all do survive this, we all need to be prepared for what's next, right? I think that long-term thought process is something often forgotten. We're so in this mindset of now, that we need to consider that, yes, while it's important to note that your credit is not always the most important thing in some cases, depending on where you're at in life, it's a very much important thing if you need to do financial things in the future. And for you to destroy that, unfortunately, in America, that's how we are identified by banks, loans, different aspects of things. So I find being careful during these times is very important in regards to the relationships you may potentially destroy if you want to rehash those. It's not like you can just call back your ex-girlfriend and say, hey, look, we're going to work this out. Some people are open to that, i.e. banks or depending on who you're working with, but that is not always the case. So to deter or break those relationships over a short-minded perspective or view is something I warn people of, those that are wanting to have future success or future endeavors, to be careful, because once you destroy your credit, it's very hard to repair on a long-term basis. That's all. I'm not negating what you're saying, just I think there's a different perspective of that based on your financial situation,
Oh, LJ, we can't hear you.
Can't hear LJ. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my phone on mute. Not the phone, my microphone. I agree with you exactly what you're saying. Though all those rules apply for people who need loans. Yes, they do. For people that don't need loans, we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Those kind of rules only apply to people who need financing. And for people that, and this is the first thing I suggest for anybody taking information from anybody in business, I say the first thing they need to do is look at that business owner's personal credit report, not the credit score, the credit report. The personal credit report will show me if they've invested in themselves or not. If I look on that person's, even though I don't care how successful their business is, if I look on that person's personal credit report and he got a 20-year-old student loan, I'm not taking any financial business advice from that person, because what they're doing right there makes absolutely no sense. So if they don't know that there, they don't know that here.
Never took out a student loan throughout my entire
congratulations.
career.
Congratulations.
But I'll say this. I think academics is one of the worst investments there is in today's world, for the sheer fact that it doesn't advance you in life. In
academics, like mathematics?
No.
Schooling.
I mean, like, I actually believe that technical schools and schools that actually specifically craft you for what you're aiming to do in life is more of a positive in today's world, as unfortunately many colleges have become a big business and they're simply after your tuition, whatever they can get from you from the cafeterias, all these different housing, all these things are just financial tools to essentially milk you for everything you're worth. Yet if you have a question regarding some of your, master's programs or even undergraduates, they send you a million directions, don't want to assist you, but they're very fast to want to take your money. My concern with that long term is that if a business were to do that, i.e., that's what a college is, they would lose their customers, they would lose their business. Colleges don't, because we hold it to a different standard, yet we're not getting what we're paying for in return, right? Many times we're promised certain levels of education, but also potential jobs after that. And many of us are not seeing that. In fact, that's why we're all in the position we are now as things close, is that we weren't prepared for those things to be in a position where we are now, where, you're stating a lot of people don't have $400. Well, those are courses you should be taking in college to prepare yourself to say, why am I not storing more money? What am I doing financially? I've been very fortunate. My family taught me these things early on.
That's awesome.
But the same token, I think colleges need to be reiterating these points publicly or obviously in classrooms to make sure that these students at least have a borderline understanding of those things, and I think that's a more of a societal thing that we're taught, and even bigger than that, as businesses, we're marketed as individuals, as colleges are the only understanding. When Mike knows in the shoe world, the best thing about the market as far as business on this side is you understand how business is done, how margins work, how you can build relationships and grow. And I think those are the things that are really missing on the grand scale from a financial institution. So, there's a lot of things that can go on and on about with that kind of stuff, because I think there's a lot of gaps when it comes to college and, even paying back loans and things of that nature. But more so than ever, I think right now is not the time to kind of be investing in, college. As far as I'm concerned, I think the best thing you can do is find a technical school, especially right now. There's so many free things online that you can take advantage of,
Yeah, I like this. I think it's very cool to see all three of our perspectives. Now, I would say for me, like you said, college, I had this hatred for school. Went to a private school, business. I had the top professors, but little did I know that I was taking out these huge student loans and the interest that is on them. And I feel like, I don't think school is a waste of time if you know exactly what it is that you want to do. But for those people that are just going because society says you should, oh, take out this loan and this loan. Oh, that's a 10% interest rate. But you don't know these things. You just take it out because it's what's normal. Mm-hmm. And then you end up just floating and graduating, no job after, working. I'm not, no shade or nothing, but working at Foot Locker when you have this amazing business degree that you paid $100,000 for. Mm-hmm. We're just not taught. And so looking back on it, it does start at home. But again, it starts from your parents' home and then from their parents' home.
Correct.
So it's just a constant reflection of just financial literacy. And I feel like that's why this topic is so cool, and an angle that I can tell. I've been making video.
Not to cut you off, Mike, but I think an important conversation there is that we discuss a lot about at home. Many of us come from broken homes. Many of us come from, rough beginnings. So we don't financially pay our parents to teach us this information, but we are teaching and paying financial, these educational institutions to bring us knowledge. Even public schools, we're paying it through our taxes. I think it's important that we also keep in mind, especially during this economic situation that we're going through now, that there is a bridge or a gap here that we need to kind of address even at a young age. There's certain things like home ec that, they could be intertwining things that are more of a larger scale of knowledge that we could all be gaining from this, and starting early,
For sure. But the problem is that we don't want that.
This is, what, honestly, this is what I teach. I teach people stop blaming anything outside yourself. Stop blaming the colleges. Stop blaming what they teach in class. Stop blaming the kid across the street. Stop blaming everybody. Just look at yourself. Right now, like what I teach you right now, Mike, what you're going to learn, what I teach you, you're going to naturally without question, you're going to pass this down to your children. Am I right?
Yeah.
There's no way your kids are going to leave this house not knowing what you know today, because you'll never want them in $200,000 worth of student loan debt. So, right. So when they know this and they get out on their own, they graduate college, they're going to be like, okay, wait a minute. How much does college cost to do what? You mean I can get the same thing if I go to the community college and stay in state? Yeah, then I'm going to go there. They're not even going, they're going to know right away. They're not going to care what the college is charging, because they're going to just say, that's too much money, I'm not going. And then they just leave. See what I'm saying? It won't be. Now, if everybody, more and more people got this type of knowledge, which is basic math, right? The colleges would have to come down in price. They would have to, because nobody would go. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I guess that's really where Anthony's speaking from. Like, I'm learning it now. I'm going to teach it to my kids. They're going to teach it to their kids. It's just like a constant cycle. And we can blame everybody in the world. But at the end of the day, like, Anthony, you started your business. You might not have came from much, but you started a business. You did it yourself. You looked in the mirror. This is what I'm going to do. I remember the first time I met you. Bag. That's what I'm going to do. Same thing with YouTube. Everybody kept telling me, oh, I don't do YouTube, blah, blah. Now look at 500,000 subscribers. I'm still trying to do my thing. I'm living my dream. I know I want to work for myself.
And I'm sure Anthony heard, oh, you can't do that. And then voila, now he's got his business. You know what I'm saying? I don't listen to anybody.
I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to in this, no matter what economic situation we're in, it's about staying hungry, right? Like, I think there's always an opportunity, like you were mentioning before with the stock market, if you have the opportunity to invest, you know. What I mean by saying that is there's always an opportunity, no matter what the economic climate is, to make money and to do something positive to further your life into a positive direction. And I think you're more than, I couldn't agree more with one statement you made, which is stop looking at other people to bail you out or blame people. I can't even begin to tell you that's where character begins and ends right there. You take personal accountability for what you want to do in your life. And, you know, at the end of the day, like you said, invest in yourself. You know, I pride myself that in this business, I do not have 1 ounce of credit line or anything that puts me in a position where I have to speak to anybody else regarding what
Congratulations, man.
But
congratulations. Be proud of that.
And I do that because for one and foremost, I want to be the one that be able to speak on what I want to do with my business, how I want to conduct it, and what direction I want to take it. But more so than anything else, you know, I was taught at a young age, if you can't afford it, it's not for you. You can't do it. So there's only a handful of things that I, you know, have a credit line for, if you would, and that's my home and that's my car, and most cars are paid off. So as soon as I can pay it off, I do it, and I make sure that I don't have to have, you know, any interest payments, unless, like you stated before, the interest is so low that it doesn't make sense for me not to have $100 cost me over the tenure of that loan. But I mean, I really think more than anything else, it comes down to knowing your situation and knowing where you are at financially, and being able to make decisions that coincide with that, and making sure that you're at least like Mike was saying, you know, looking things up and making sure, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should. And understanding all levels of decision making, because I think whether it's a business that I have to make a decision that's impactful, you know, it's important to know where you should potentially be. And, you know, there's going to be risk involved. Listen, I started this business just over 2 years ago, right? I met Mike at the very first SneakerCon in New York, and I came up to him and I was like, hey man, I'm a fan of your channel. I love what you do. I even have pictures of him the day one I met him. Don't get me wrong. Not saying Mike just didn't believe me, but a lot of people at that given time didn't see where things are today with the company. But at the same time, what I thought about is, you build relationships, you build good people, you surround yourself with good. Mike is one of the best people I've ever encountered in this business. And the reason I say that is he's the most humble dude I've come across, and is grateful for anything that comes his direction. And you would never know he has 500,000 subscribers. You would never know he's had the success he's had, been invited to all these different things that he's been invited to. My point in saying that is, along with your financial success, it's very important to be humble along the way, because you never know if tomorrow we make it to whatever the case may be, and I say, Mike, come along board with me so you can be along this journey. You've been nothing but a positive influence throughout this entire thing. I don't forget those as a business owner. There's been
like-minded people.
Yeah, Mike is a gem, man, and I don't say that because I'm on here talking to him. I tell him that every time I have the opportunity to, and I think more so than anything else, during these economic times, it's important not to become what people are concerned about, buying guns, all these things, because there's bad people out there. Now is the time to be a good person.
Correct.
Good things, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I really like what you said, because I want a lot of you guys to really absorb this message of how Anthony said when we first met, not that I didn't believe in the business, but also I was with another company, right? But the fact that he said, hey man, take this bag, let me know what you think. A year goes by, right?
That's cool.
I dig the bag. And this goes into any concept, any business. Guys, if you want to be a graphic designer, you want to make beats, don't go to any influencer or person that you look up to, whatever. I'm not saying you look up to me or anything, but I'm just saying, provide them value.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the long run, it will turn around and come back, right? I don't want you to message me, say, hey man, I make beats. Can I make a beat for you? Just send me the beat. Let me listen to it. Oh, it's dope. I put it on a video, done deal, you know? Provide value initially. I want you guys to really know that, because a lot of people are like, hey, can I ask you a question? No, just ask the question. That is a part of leveling up. And definitely one thing that I've learned, especially when you have resources, you know?
Mike, but also I think at the end of the day, what that comes down to is that's just experience, right? I think that's, you know, as I've grown in this business, I've had to learn a lot and understand a lot. And, you know, I think that goes back to even my initial statement about investing into education right now. Yes, there's free education, there's things you can take advantage of, but I think there's nothing more valuable than experience, like getting your course. I will do every job there is here in my office, no matter what it takes, and nobody can ever say that I can't do their job. Like you see in those undercover bosses, I refuse to ever put any of my businesses in that position, but at the same time, I think it's important to have the experience so you can even speak on those things, you know? And I think that's an important trait, no matter what you do, is being able to speak on whatever it is that you're doing to understand the full grasp of that position and what you're asked of, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think that's where stuff like this, all three of us, different perspectives, different experiences, that's where if the right, I mean, I think it just comes down to, you always hear something, but until you experience it, then you're like, oh, wow, that's what they meant. But if you can really tune in and understand what LJ's saying, where he's coming from, understand where I'm coming from, understand where you're coming from, those different just aspects, like that's free knowledge right there. You know, I think that's huge. Google University. You ain't paying nothing to be on this stream. Your mom's probably paying for the internet. Yeah. It's just free knowledge, guys.
I appreciate you guys letting me join you, man. I won't take the limelight from you guys. Enjoy it, man. I got to get back to work myself. So
sounds good, man.
And I appreciate you.
All right, nice meeting you, Anthony.
You
nice
too as
meeting
well. We'll definitely connect soon. I appreciate everything.
For sure.
Keep sending out a positive message, man. I love it.
Appreciate it.
God bless, guys. Be safe.
All right. See you later.
Take care.
Wow. Okay. We got some more people want to jump on here.
Yeah. Anybody else? I mean, I think this is what it's all about. It's just connecting and understanding different experiences. But
I want to also just help people realize there are options right now. I know it seems like it's the worst thing to happen it is the worst thing to happen in this century. I ain't going to lie. It's going to get worse, but there's still a way out. Okay. There's still a way to save your financial life, career, whatever you want. There's still a chance.
For sure.
There's still ways.
One thing I want anyone that's watching, I want you guys, I put LJ's channel, I'll put it again. I want you to, if you're in debt, go check out his channel. Just listen to his videos. See if they connect with you. I feel like there's always people that word things a certain way that really just sticks. And that's where you came in. Savings minus savings. How much money you have in real life? I was like, bro.
I still remember our first call, man. I remember we were on the phone call, man. I remember I mentioned the slave thing and these are your slave papers. This is the cost. You were like, quiet. I was like, Mike, you're like, yeah, man, I'm still here.
Yeah, when you told me the whole car situation, I was like, dang.
Right.
Yeah, guys, I really want you to check out the channel. And I mean, the whole reason we did hop on the stream, and we'll do it again. I want more questions. I really want to see how this video performs on this channel. As far as if you're watching this after the stream, just drop a comment. Let me know some questions that we can answer in the next one. But
and you know what's so crazy, Mike? I want to say this. You really can recession-proof yourself. A recession. I was prepared for this moment. I didn't know I was being prepared for this moment, but really, my life really doesn't change. It really doesn't change. It's little things are inconvenience now, but as soon as I found out my life is called quarantine, it just surprised me because that was already my life. At home, didn't care about the time or day. You already know they just named our life quarantine. This is really our life every day. It's not really a change, right?
No, not really. Not
I
at
want
all.
people to I want people to feel what we feel because a lot of people they never will, honestly, if they don't wake up.
Yeah, no, that's it. Just wake up. That's all you got to do.
Just wake up. Just use grade school math. That's it. It really is that easy. You're gonna be, like I said, I told Mike he's gonna be mad at himself for about six months to a year. He thinks it's gonna be longer than that, but that's gonna be around that.
For sure. And that, I think a lot of people just need to, like, everybody has this stubborn aspect of where you say a simple equation, life is simple, and you say that and they're like, nah.
Right. No, it can't be that easy. No.
Yeah.
Everybody would have known that if that was the case. I said, I know.
So
wow.
Let's see what else we have here as far as questions. I think this has gone solid. I'm glad Anthony dropped in here too. It was a cool
that was cool.
perspective for sure. So let's see. Maury said, I'm 22 years old, bought a car last year, 10 grand in cash. All the people do is criticize me about how I won't have credit and might need it later. I like to live for the here and now. Sue me.
Yes. She's doing it right. That's all the people in debt. Hey, Maury, all the people in debt want you to be in debt like them. That's why they're criticizing you. Oh, your credit is this, your credit is that. And you have a paid off car and they don't. That's why they want you to be like them. That's the problem.
Yeah, everybody's trying to trap you. But again, I think that's an American thing. Like our society is really on us.
You ask the average person, especially your age, man, they're going to be like, hey, man, why don't you buy a car without financing? They're going to be like, how am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Pay cash. I don't have the money. How come you don't have the money? Figure that part out and then you'll be able to pay cash.
So how do you feel about this before we answer this question second? Let's say I have $30,000 in my bank account, right? And the car I want is $20,000. I want to put a down payment on that. I get a 0% interest rate.
Ooh.
I have good credit, right? Let's say that.
Yeah, okay.
But I still have that money. It's just paying in full. Let's say I want to finance it 0%, pay the payments for a little bit, and then just pay for it just to get my credit up. What do you think about that? Because it's one of those, like someone said, don't bite off more than you can chew. Well, if you got the money.
Well, first I have to see if that person really has money. I have to see if they're in debt. I would add up their savings minus debt. But still, like this, let's use the 30,000.
Let's say clean slate 30,000. That's you.
30,000. You got $30,000.
Yeah.
And you're going to buy a $20,000 car. So this is what I would tell a person. Okay, so obviously, if the person saved up $30,000, they're smart because they have $30,000. People don't even have $400. So this person has 30. I'll say, okay, this person knows something. Then I would say, where are you going to buy that $20,000 car? Oh, this car lot down the street. I'll say, why don't you buy it for $15,000 from a person in debt with cash? Don't go to the car lot. You already know you're going to pay the car plus tax, right?
Yeah. And
why don't you go to somebody in debt in financial trouble and buy it for $15,000 with cash? Now you just saved yourself $5,000 just like that. And now you still got more money in the bank.
Boom.
And now you can drive the car. You bought the car under Blue Book, drive it for a few years, sell it at Blue Book. That means you drove the car for free for 5 years or whatever you keep it.
Yeah.
Voila.
So if you guys think about that, what you can really plug that into is just about everything, right?
Yes.
Anyone, maybe someone is in a just crunch for their house and you got the money. Hey, let me get a little discount real quick, So something to think about. And that even goes into shoes. I mean,
I go sign a year lease because I did this before. I go sign a year lease. They tell me how much is it per month. I say, if I pay you the whole year right now, can I get a month off? They say yes. Now I got it now it just saved me a month's rent I was going to live there a year anyway. So now I got 1 month off. I just saved $1,500 or whatever it was back then.
For sure. I like that. That's dope.
There's not a company that's going to turn you down.
Nope. It's the same thing like airlines and hotel costs. They're dirt cheap now, so we know the real place. Again, that goes into the aspect of there's no time. A lot of things are being exposed right now, which is pretty cool if you look at it from a positive perspective.
Well, they got to see it from the angle you're looking at it. Right now, the majority of people saying, oh, those prices are low because everybody's not staying there, right? But they're not looking at it as, wait a minute, maybe those are the real prices. They don't look at it that way.
This flight's $50 to Florida, but I've been paying $500. What's going on here?
I've always questioned airline tickets. I'm like, $500 just to fly across the country? God, that seems expensive. Who set those prices?
Money, money, money. Sorry if this seems political, but if the companies don't get bailed out, is stocks a smart investment?
That's for you.
Yeah. So for this question, this is why you want to invest, if you have the money, into stocks that are just going to be fine, right? Like you think of something like McDonald's, they're going to be fine. Verizon, people are going to pay their phone bills. Like those are the kind of things that you want to look into. AT&T, but other companies, I mean, it's already a risk. You guys that invest, you should already know it's a risk. But go with the companies that are just going to make it through this. They'll most likely get bailed out. They have money. They have the cash flow. They'll lay off people. They have credit lines. So just be aware of that. Here we go. How do you even go about starting a business? That's probably such a broad question, and I don't know how else to word it. So let's talk about you, LJ, starting, saving minus debt. Like, why do you do what you do now? What was your plan? Why did you create this business? How did you write it out? What are the steps?
No, I just, I honestly listened to the me inside me, the voice inside me. And the voice inside me said, get out of debt. I didn't know why I was getting out of debt, but I got out of debt, discovered how free I was, discovered, the things I discovered at work, hours, and then I realized time. It help me understand that time is the most valuable thing on earth. So now I went from there. I wanted everybody else to feel what I felt.
Yeah.
And what really got me on the path is when I first heard somebody tell me that I changed their life, because I had never heard that in my life until I started doing this. The first person I heard kind of took me back. And then once I did it, that's what I just been making it happen. And I've noticed that since I've been out here in the working, I had to earn people's trust first. It's not like coming from the working world. You think you just come here, start making money. No, I had to earn people's trust first. So that's why I started this channel. I had to let people understand by putting in work, you could see that I'm real. Just like you said, you went to my channel. Now, if you came to my channel and I had no videos on there, you would have just left and said, I'm not using that dude, right? Yeah. I had to put in work. Free work.
Yeah,
free.
For sure. So, essentially, guys, as far as creating a business, which I always get this question. So number one, I'm going to turn this camera. You guys see that board in the back? Those are all business ideas, just outlines, visions. That's where it starts. You decide, LJ decided, this is my experience. Okay. This is the value I want to provide. Okay. Let me do the work. Okay. Here's the business. So it's all an outline. What is it that you want to do? The niche that you want to tap into. His was personal finance, most motivational speaking, but it's all coming from experience. Experience is everything. If you want to start this business, do an outline. It's like clothing. Like, let's say I started my brand. I spent all this money and now stuff is just sitting there. It sucks, but it's experience. I learned, oh, maybe I should make less shirts. Oh, maybe I should go with this person. Oh, maybe I should do a cheaper garment.
All right.
Experience, outline experience, do, execute. Don't just talk about it. Take action. Right now's the time.
And financially, I want to say this part. Financially, people are asking, hey, man, I'm ready for a business. This is what I say financially, all right? First, start with yourself. Start with the business of you. Add up all your savings. Add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in your business right now. If your business is in the negative, you're failing at your personal own business. First create the business of yourself by getting your business out of debt into the black and out of the red. That's where you start. And once you do this, the business of you, you're going to naturally carry those habits over to real business outside of you. It'll be a natural process. That's when you'll know you're ready for business. As soon as you make sure the business of you is straight.
Yeah. Okay, next question. My car loan is the biggest loan I have. However, I live in an area where a car is a necessity. What are your guys' input?
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so from my perspective, I financed the Range Rover. So I'm right here with you guys. Like, I'm solely talking, I have debt. Like, I financed the car. I mean, I'm paying it. The best thing from my perspective is just, hey, you financed it. Now just keep paying on it. If you can make double payments on it, pay it off as soon as possible. That's it. And that's from a dude that financed.
Hey, and saying that out loud is for you, though. That's for you,
Yeah,
Mike.
it's for me. Yeah, that's why I laugh about it.
Look at yourself when you say it, too, because I want you to say it. This is what I say, too, Renee. I say like this. I want you to go get on Kelley Blue Book. I want you to look up the value of your car right now. Go look it up. And then I want you to get online and see how much money you have left owed on that car. All right. And then when you see the difference, all right, then I want you to think to yourself, how many hours of my life it's going to take me to pay off that car? So if your car is worth $5,000 and you still owe $10,000, I want you to add up all the hours that it would take for you to work to pay off $10,000. And then you tell me, is that car still worth keeping? I can help you answer that, help you answer yourself that question.
So in your perspective, do you believe like, is that situation based? Let's say you're still making good money. Like, I think like the difference between someone who's really struggling paying the car versus someone who is just paying it. Does that make sense?
Are you paying car payments? What are you saying?
Yeah, car payments. Like, you know how you said, for some people, just don't even make the payment.
Mm-hmm.
But versus the people that are still making good money, they're fine. Like, just keep paying it and then just pay it off, or
pay it off.
Yeah.
I would just say pay it off. If you got make good money, if this is you and you believe you have good money, as soon as the stream is over, I want you to take the money, walk down to the bank and pay it off, because that's the only people that can truly pay it off.
Yeah.
Right now. So if you have it, but if you don't have it, that means you don't have the money to pay it off. So you got to stop saying those things out loud, because that's not true. You got to make sure you're not lying to yourself. If you don't have the actual cash to get up and go pay it off right now, that means you can't. That's why. So you got to accept that. And as soon as you accept that, you'll realize you're in the same situation as the person that you believe in your brain that is below you or struggling or whatever people think in the debt matrix. Everybody's in the debt matrix and they think the same thing, because one person up here makes a certain amount of money and a person down here, but they don't realize they're all in the same class as the debt class. There is no first class, middle class, upper class. Those classes don't even exist. If you're in debt, it's called the debt class. That's it. Nobody's higher than anybody in the debt matrix.
Yeah.
They just think that. See what I'm saying? So if it's more about being real with yourself, because people think that, oh man, I make good money. I can pay that off when I want to. Oh, you mean you can make the payments? Oh, okay, then say that. Oh, I make good money. I can make the payments. I'll accept that. If somebody says, oh man, I make good money. I can make the payments. You know what I'll say? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with you.
For sure. No, I definitely.
Yeah.
I hear it.
Not you. I'm just saying in general.
Oh no, but still, like, even from my perspective, I like to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this question. Why choose to rent versus buy a place, Mike? You could be paying the same, but working towards equity rather than paying monthly and owning something in the long term. So let me just break down the story. I actually was going to finance a house. Again, be honest with yourself. You're not buying it. You're financing it. Which I was really excited for. You know, that's one of the goals as a 25-year-old, right? Buy a house, have a car.
That's what they say.
Yeah,
that's what everybody says.
That's how I felt at the time. Almost had it. Thank God it fell through. But one of the reasons that before I met LJ, which again, we'll go back to the simple math of it, but I went back to renting just because of a book that I read of how terrible investment a house is. You know, number one, you're financing a $500,000 house. You got to put that down payment, and then you spend an additional $5,000 to $10,000 just furnishing that house. So what are you doing? You're really just digging a hole for what? To be basically a slave in your own home. And I didn't really want to be tied to my house. Like, oh, I got this nice house, I got a car, but I can't fly nowhere.
I can't leave.
I can't go get some filet mignon from Costco, as I told you. So
I know.
I'm glad that fell through. But the reality of it is, and again, this is really what changed my whole perspective of hearing from you, LJ, was the whole savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Well, if I'm financing a $500,000 house, but I'm negative in loans and debt, that don't make sense.
Don't make sense
at all.
Don't make sense.
So why not just, I have the money to rent. My bank account says I have at least the money to rent, but to really be in this hole of like,
yes, way up there. You'd be like,
you looking at Mount Everest, like, how am I supposed to get up this?
Exactly.
So that's kind of my answer to that.
Yeah.
And LJ, I mean, you could break it down to them.
Yeah, Brent, this is what I say. You said, why choose to rent versus buy? All right, now I want to make sure all the young people, because all the young people hear this the same statement. Oh, why are you renting versus buying when you can do equity and this and that, and you can make this money and you're throwing away money and blah, blah, blah. Anytime you hear that, not saying you, Brent, I'm just saying in general. First of all, you need to ask anybody that tells you that. I want you to ask this question. Do you still have your student loans? If they still have their student loans, don't take any financial advice from them. They have 20-year-old student loans. They have 10-year-old student loans. That doesn't make sense. Okay, that's number one. Number two, add up all your savings, add up all your debt, because people in debt believe they have a choice whether to buy or rent. I don't know why that is. That's just what they believe, whatever, right? Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals whether you can buy or rent. So if your finances are in a negative, you don't have no choice but to rent. You have no money. So whenever you hear that, just do your own math to your own finances and say, hey, man, I'm in debt. I have no choice but to rent. That's what you say to yourself. That's how you do it. So don't pay attention to people that say things like that. They have no idea. The majority of them have no idea what they're talking about. This is, like I said earlier, that's all you got to do is ask them if they still have their student loans. Don't pay attention to them. Okay, period. Okay,
so I'm reading Brent. He's basically talking about how, number one, you can get an FHA loan.
Oh my God, right there, right off the bat. I don't listen to no more. This is where I tune out. That's it. FHA loans are horrible.
And then, so I own 2 duplexes. Now,
this is what I asked Brent. I just want to say this real quick. I'm sorry, Mike. Hey, Brent. Is FHA mortgages, are those mortgages the best mortgage on the market to get? I'm going to just tell you right now, they're not. So I'm asking you, why didn't you get the best one? Why did you settle for subprime mortgages instead of the best mortgage? That's the question I need you to answer.
So I have friends that own duplexes, and they're doing very well for themselves. Obviously, this works for the minority, not the majority. A lot of people try to make this sound easier than it is, number one. And also, when it comes to times like this, what do you do when your tenants can't pay and you don't have that cash flow? You're relying on them to pay that loan for you. So again, it goes to the minority. There are people that have cash flow like this. They're sitting on, they might own the duplex, and they can afford for their tenants to not pay rent. They're fine. But again,
well, I'll tell you right now, Mike, people with FHA mortgages are depending on that for tenants to be paying rent. They're depending on it. That's why they got an FHA mortgage. That's why 3.5% down is attractive to people in debt. It doesn't, first of all, no mortgage in the world makes anybody a homeowner. Right off the bat, I want to say everybody right now, no mortgage in the world, not even the absolute best one in the United States, will ever make you a homeowner. Number two, right when you finance, you already know you're going to be paying more for that sale price that you see on the stick thing in the grass. You're not going to be getting it at that price because you're financing it. So the sale price does not apply to you. It only applies to the person that pays cash. Got it? All right. So you're going to be spreading this over 30 years. Why not get, if you know that, why not get the best one and never settle for anything less? You already know that. But people in debt, they settle for the less. They think they're getting something, and they walk away believing they're homeowners. Ask anybody with FHA mortgage. Are you a homeowner? They'll believe that they are, when it's not true.
Yeah, and Brent, we don't. Nobody's attacking you or anything.
Right, I'm not attacking them. I'm just saying.
No, I even seen like a chat. Nobody's attacking you. You're doing your thing. This is just another, like you said, you got to have reserves. It's true, you do. Again, you're the minority in this situation. Not a lot of people can maneuver this way, but this is just for everyone. Everyone watching the live stream, people later that watch the video. It's just one of those things to be aware of. FHA. Are you a true homeowner?
Man, those things inside of that, ooh, they do. Man, Mike, if you saw what's the things that are inside of FHA mortgage, ooh, they're just so disrespectful. They're disrespecting people in debt with that kind of stuff. If you ever read a FHA mortgage, it's so disrespectful, financially disrespectful.
Makes sense. All right, guys. Well, I think we're coming to an end on the stream. Just to kind of speak on what we spoke about. Can't get my words right now. Number one, protect your house during this time. Hey, pay your bills, man. You gotta pay your rent, get your food, what your essentials are right now. That's the most important. Number two, cash is where it's at. Number three, protect your credit. Don't go out taking out all these loans. It's not your money. You're just borrowing and kind of putting yourself, again, like LJ said, putting yourself in the hole. Hey, here's a shovel. Just keep digging.
Yeah.
Number three is try to increase income. Now is the time to think about businesses. What is it that you want to do? Time doesn't exist right now, guys. We're just chilling at home. And last but not least, if you have the money, buy assets. This is the time. Don't be scared. But again, savings minus debt equals how much money you have to buy those assets.
Yeah.
And LJ, thanks for coming on. I'll put your channel down one more time. You guys can go check them out.
Appreciate it. And you can reach me for a consultation at savingsminusdebt.com. Just go over there, check out my channel, check out my videos, do your research like Mike did. Don't just take my word for it. Go see that I've been putting in work. All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for stopping by. Anyone watching this after the live, just drop some questions. We'll try to do this again if it does well. So catch you guys in the next one. It's your boy Sneaker Life signing out.